A few months ago, I made a video claiming that the US economy is headed into a stagflation, and back then it wasn't clear. But now we have enough data to claim that the chances of a stagflation is only rising. A stagflation is the worst economic condition that any economy could get into, because getting out of the stagflation is not as easy as you think. It usually takes something between 5 to 10 years. If it was a mild recession, we wouldn't actually care much about it. But we are on the brink of another stagflation. Since Donald Trump has taken office, inflation is only rising. And in August of this year, we have reached an inflation of 2.9%. So the trend is very clear that inflation will continue rising. So it is very likely that next year or throughout the next year, we'll see an inflation of more than 3%. So everything that the Federal Reserve has done to bring down inflation will be absolutely useless. And maybe there is a probability that the Fed will even lower down interest rates in order to stimulate the economy to a certain extent. Back in April, when Donald Trump announced his tariffs, inflation was 2.3%. And a lot of people said, look, we have introduced the tariffs on every single country all across the globe, but they did not cause any kind of high inflation. And that's because the impacts of tariffs take slowly. They don't instantly impact everybody. And now we are seeing the final impact of tariffs, and this might be even just the beginning. The prices could continue rising into the next year, and inflation could very well go into 3.5 to 4%. It's normal to have inflation, because when the economy is growing, people's incomes are growing and people are spending more money. When spending is rising, prices are increasing. So inflation isn't always very bad. In fact, the 2 to 3% inflation rate is sometimes very healthy, especially when the economy is booming. But in this case, if you look at the labor market, you will see that the number of jobs being added each month is slowing down. The labor market is weakening month by month. In fact, this is the first time that we had a month where the United States added a negative jobs report at 13,000. And the trend is very clear. But if the economy falls into a stagflation, we will see more and more months where the labor market or the labor report is going to be negative. So prices are not rising because people are making money and the economy is growing, but rather people losing their jobs, people are making less money, but yet prices are still rising. I would say that this is a problem, but what makes this entire situation even worse is because the United States has passed the Big Beautiful Bill, which worsens the entire situation. The point of the Big Beautiful Bill was to fix the fundamental problem that the United States is facing since 2020, and that is an almost 7% deficit rate. Currently, the US government is spending about extra $2 trillion every single month. And everybody knows that this is not sustainable and it will 100% bankrupt the United States, not 100 years from now, but in the foreseeable future. And there are two ways to fix this problem. The first one is you raise taxes, and as you collect more revenue from taxes, you're going to balance the budget. On the other side, you can actually lower down taxes, and that would lead to an economic growth. That economic growth is going to increase and grow the GDP, where the exact same percentage out of the GDP is going to balance the budget. Guess which way the United States actually took to take? Well, judging by the Big Beautiful Bill, which was one of the largest tax cuts in the history of the United States and finally removed the taxes on tips and overtime and many other things, we know that government's revenue aren't going to rise to be raised from more taxes, but rather the only hope is economic growth. And the point of the Big Beautiful Bill was that it is going to stimulate the economy to grow by about 5% annually within Trump presidency. I think the exact figure was like 4.8% or 4.9%. And once Trump's term is over, the economy will grow by about 3.5 to 4% by 2034. And the United States will finally achieve a deficit rate of 3.2%. But if we are not going to have this kind of GDP growth, then the deficit won't be fixed. The problem is that there will be more spending and less revenue if the US enters into a stagflation, which means that the $2 trillion deficit that the government has right now is going to get a lot worse because spending is going to continue rising, expenses will continue rising, but revenues won't keep rising because of a stagflation. So maybe 2 to 3 years from now, we will have not a $2 trillion deficit, but rather a $4 trillion deficit. The real question is, what is a stagflation at the end of the day? Did the United States ever experience a stagflation? Well, the United States had one of the highest inflation in its history back in 1970s. And it wasn't because the US economy was booming, the GDP was booming, but rather there were other reasons that led the inflation to rise so much, because unemployment back in 1970s was also one of the highest in the history of the United States. So what exactly has happened? There were two main causes of the high inflation of 1970s. First of all, there was an oil shock. There was a shortage of oil in the market and oil prices quadrupled. And everything that you buy on Walmart, Tesco or Costco is being shipped from one place to another. Either it's brought from outside the United States or even within the United States, it's being moved from one place to another, which means that if the cost of transporting the goods is going to rise, it is going to impact the final price. Because as a business owner, you started this business to make a profit. And if your cost has risen, you have to increase the final price to make sure that you stay profitable. Especially when we talk about goods, the businesses or the retail business is very competitive and profit margins are very low. And even a small increase in prices is going to have a substantial impact on the entire business, which often forces these businesses to raise their prices and pass down that cost. The second main event that happened of 1970s is the United States abandoned the gold standard, which instantly devalued the dollar, which led to one of the highest inflations as well. These two reasons created high inflation while the economy was not growing, which stuck the US economy in a stagflation state for a very long time. And you can see that it took the United States years to get out of this crisis. Today, we have similar reasons that are causing prices to rise. First of all, of course, we don't have an oil shock like we had back in 1970s, but we have something called tariffs. The point of tariffs is to tax goods that you will import from outside the United States to the United States. And a lot of US businesses that bring stuff from outside the United States. For example, if you go to Walmart and you buy some fruits such as banana, that banana most likely being imported from outside the United States. If you buy some kind of furniture, washing machine or a dishwasher, most likely it's being imported from China or other southeastern countries, which means that their prices have to increase since those companies that are importing them to the United States will have to pay an additional tax. Now, there isn't even a clarity about these tariffs in the first place. There is a battle between Donald Trump and the courts. Will these tariffs will be at the end of the day or not? Are these tariffs constitutional or unconstitutional? But regardless, businesses are already seeing the impact of these tariffs on themselves. So we don't know how it will end. The businesses have already started passing down that cost to the final consumer, which means that it is going to increase or cause inflation at the end of the day regardless. Another reason that is causing inflation in the United States and all across the globe are the major geopolitical changes that are happening. What we are seeing right now are some of the biggest changes since 1945. Donald Trump is reshaping the entire structure of the US economy. He's changing alliances. For example, since 1945, the United States tried to ally itself with India against China. But now the United States imposed a 50% tariff on India. And you can literally look at what Trump is doing and you can come up with hundreds of examples of how he's literally changing and reshaping the entire global world order. That is making the cost of business more expensive, which is forcing businesses and companies to raise their prices to be ready for such challenges and make sure that they don't go out of business. Another reason is massive spending by the US government. Even though that the economy is slowing down, the extra $2 trillion deficit is creating some kind of demand within the economy. Yes, you might lose your jobs. Yes, the AI bubble is actually slowing down. But that extra $2 trillion is still creating inflation to a certain extent. Remember one rule. Anytime that you see that the government is spending money, it means inflation. And if the government is spending trillions of dollars, then it means massive inflation. The real question at the end of the day is that who is winning out of this stagflation and who is losing? Now, to be honest, everybody loses in a stagflation, because if the economy overall is not growing, then most people are going to lose. Now, it doesn't mean that everybody is going to go bankrupt, the entire economy is going to collapse, and the stock market will literally go to zero. That's not what I mean. I mean, overall, when the GDP doesn't grow, most people are not winning, but it still means that prices are rising to a certain extent. Of course, the biggest losers are the middle class and the poor people, because these are the people who are on a fixed income and their incomes aren't rising because literally companies are firing people, but prices are rising, which means that now they're spending a bigger share of their income on their basic necessities, which directly makes them poorer. If you're in the middle class, you got poorer. If you are a poor person, then you are suffering probably twice. But what the rich people are doing in those circumstances, whenever prices are rising, you always have to understand that asset prices are also rising. And that's why top 10% of Americans literally own 90% of the entire stock market. So whether we are going to have a recession or a stagflation or even a normal economic growth, the stock market is rising, which is why the top 10% are still getting wealthier. They're still making money out of it because inflation is growing. Your boss is not raising your income, but prices in the stock market are continuing rising, which keeps these top 10% wealthier and wealthier. So if you want to protect yourself and benefit out of this stagflation, then you have to make sure that you have a portion of your income invested in the right assets. And if you want to know what are the top 10 stocks that you should be buying today, then check out the first link in the description of this video. That's it for today. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.